Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today's June 19th, 2018. In this week's news, we have the U-2 spy plane, which is still shooting film. And for those who don't know, the U-2 spy plane has been flying for decades now, and it's still using film, which is very interesting. They use a special film, which is basically coming on like a roll of like almost 4x5 film, and shooting the topographics or the landscapes from very high above. And supposedly the detail resolution is amazing. There's a small documentary on Petapixel, which I linked below for those who are interested in seeing. Also this week we have the interview for the National Park photographer, and this is the photographer that everyone said landed the Ansel Adams job. So this photographer is shooting for the national parks in the United States of America. And if you want to listen to it, it's on studioc41.net, which is a podcast, and you can listen all about that. On other news, we have Alpa, who basically released an article talking about photography shutters, which I think, and I think other people will agree with me, are some of the most important and critical things in analog photography at this date. There's no longer people making, and a lot of parts are missing. So do take care of your shutters, and especially if those large format shutters are going to start being scarce from now on. So if you're interested in reading a little bit about shutters on Alpa, you can check the article below. From Lomography, we have the f² 400 in 120 format, and this is that film that came out with I think a year ago in 35, which was very limited, but now finally they're coming out with this film in 120 for your medium format camera. So if you were a fan of it or you didn't get to use it in 35, you can get it in 120 now. From Hamish Hill, we have the Pixl-Latr, which is finally released on Kickstarter. He was going to release the 15th. There was some issue with verifying his project through Kickstarter, but finally it's out. It's been fully funded in a few hours, which is great news. And if you don't know what it's about, you should check the link below, but it's basically a utensil or a tool to let you or help you digitalize your negatives with a digital camera. So basically it holds your negatives flat. It has that acrylic on the back to keep that white color nice and non-pixeled if you're using an iPad or a computer screen or something like that. And all you have to use is a reproduction table or a tripod pointing down, and you can scan from 4x5 to smaller formats, and he's going to be including after that weird formats like 110 film and other things like that. So if you're interested, it's very inexpensive, and it's backed by Hamish Hill from 35mmC, so for sure you're going to get a great product. Then we have Mink cameras, which came out with the Instacon camera, which sold out. 199 pre-sales were done, and now they're coming out with a second batch, which is still available. So if you want to buy that Instacon before anyone else, this is your chance. Also from Italian camera maker Stenopeika, we have a Linhof to his camera lens boards, which is proprietary adapter, and also a cheap introduction 8x10 camera. Still, we only have a video of the 8x10, no details, at least not on his website. So if you're interested in the cameras he's making and you want to see or get into 8x10, it might be an option for you. Also, we have a comic or a graphic novel from Weegee, the American photographer that shot crime scenes and in the, I think, 50s, 60s, 70s, not sure exactly at what time. But his work is very famous and very interesting. So if you don't know about it and you want to read a graphic novel, it might be a great chance to get into it. From Cinestill, we have Monobath, and the DF96 Monobath is coming from Cinestill at a time that monobaths are something that we're seeing lately from a lot of people. We have the Ars Imago, we have the new 55 or famous format, we have the FPP, Film Photography Podcast, Monobath, and now we have the Cinestill Monobath. Supposedly it renders amazing. It can give you 16 plus rolls out of a liter. For those who don't know, Monobath includes developer, stop, and fixer all in one. So it's very easy to process, and you can do it at home, or even you're in a rush anywhere you are traveling, just need a place to load your film, and if they ever send the lab box, it should be a perfect match. Then we have the instant back for 135 cameras, and this is a project that I think surprised a lot of people, but it's a device that lets you shoot 135 cameras, so Leicas, Olympus, Pentax, Canon, Nikon, and others. There's a list of which ones are compatible. Cameras with an adapter to expose Instax Mini film. And this uses a back plate which they provide with a little tube that has some optics, and on the bottom is the film ejection basically. So you shoot with your normal 35 camera, and once you shoot, you click a button and it pushes the film out basically, and you've got a Instax Mini. This is really fun to share because you can be shooting a normal Leica, and this thing turns into 3 parts which you can store in a bag, a handbag, or a suitcase, whatever, and you can share pictures. So you can be at a party shooting 35 normal on film, and then you decide to go Instax, and you just put that Instax back and start shooting. It's a Kickstarter. It's already raised the goal, so you might want to check it out if you're one of those people that want to have an Instax but don't like the toyish cameras they make. I mean Fuji. Intrepid has finally released the version 3 of their 4x5. It's the same price. It gives separate movements on the front. It's introduced another movement on the back. It's introduced a tripod plate on the bottom. New bungee, how do you call it? Spring for the film back, for the film holders, instant backs, medium format backs and such. So very exciting from Intrepid. They finally, I think, finished their 8x10 batch of cameras. So that's why they launched their version 3 4x5. There's also a Kodak Ektachrome Q&A that came through social media explaining a little bit about what's going on with Ektachrome. The bottom line is they're working on it. They're coming out with it soon, but still nothing else but that. Then we have the Frankenstein Instax Square SQ6 mod, which is basically an SQ6 Fuji Instax camera, which has been slaughtered, taken the lens off, and adapted to mount on a Mamiya RB, at least what I saw. It's coming from, I think, Camera Film Photo from Hong Kong. I'll leave the link below so you can check it out. So if you're one of those that really misses the FP100C, it could be a great option for you. Then we also have from the old New 55, or the famous format, is also stocking the Atomic 4x5 film, which is a very cheap or inexpensive way to shoot 4x5 if you're in the States. So you might want to check it out, and if it was one of your favorite films, you can still get it from Famous Format. So yeah, that's all for this week. As always, if you have any information, you can send an email to the email below. Sorry I missed last week's news. I'll be posting why I missed last week on the Patreon blog, which you can subscribe to and check out a bit more information behind the scenes from this YouTube channel. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next week, guys.